Okay, folks, so here we are at the Twitter files again, and Colin Rugg is reporting something kind of interesting. A guy I've heard about floating around, and maybe you have too. So, according to this, world's sexiest albino, I think that's how he calls himself, I guess, and BLM activist Tyree Conyers Page charged with fraud and money laundering. Well, it's about time because I'd heard about this, what he had been doing, this grift, like 2 years ago. And finally, he's been charged. At this point, we should just be asking who involved with BLM wasn't doing something illegal. Yeah, I believe that BLM should definitely be on a watch list or something because they have caused more terrorism and damage to the United States than most anything else. And I believe black communities should be super angry, which some of them are, because BLM promised to help them, promised to funnel their funds into local branches, regional branches, and help these communities. They didn't. They were an organization that was organized crime. So at this point, we should just be asking who involved with BLM wasn't doing something illegal, as I read. According to prosecutors, Page, this dude right here, was used George Floyd's death to raise a whopping $500,000 that he used on himself instead of BLM causes. What a noble cause this was, wasn't it? All in ideology and name only. The albino allegedly used the money to purchase himself, guns, suits, and a home. Page set up a GoFundMe posing as Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta and raised $500,000 from 1,000 donors. Remarkable. So there he is, world's sexiest albino, I guess. And I'm not seeing it, but yeah, there he is, acting the bad A, but he's got a new suit on, thanks to Black Lives Matter. I can't breathe, of course. So this is truly a grift. There's really hard. If you can't see the grift, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you and your loved ones, because they have to put up with you at Thanksgiving. So let's see remember what Tucker Carlson said about this. Let's see.
Not rational, something deeper is going on. The terms that we've used during the course of our lifetimes to describe what happens in politics no longer apply. It's bigger than that because it's irrational.
Okay, here let's
No black people benefited from BLM. We only got the burned cities. Like 4 black people benefited. They stole the money and bought a bunch of houses on the west side of LA. That's the total pool of beneficiaries. And that's why I'm saying it's not rational. Something deeper is going on. The terms that we've used during the course of our lifetimes to describe what happens in politics no longer apply. It's bigger than that because it's
Okay, so you get the gist. It's just a small clip. But yeah, he's right. I like that. He says 4 people benefited from Black Lives Matter. I'm pretty sure one of those people for sure was Patrice Cullors, who was the head of BLM. Now she has 4 mansions. And remember, there has been anything but improvement in black communities. They have only gone downhill. Murders, homicides, sexual assaults, all that has ramped up and skyrocketed. So nothing really helped, nothing really happened. Defund the police didn't do anything. It only increased those numbers. And the other person that benefited was, I think, Patrice Cullors' friend or security guy or something like that, who was making like $800,000 a year. and then this guy, the sexiest albino on earth, or whatever he calls himself. Yeah, sure. So he really did the grift. I mean, he didn't. He hit it a little bit, but it was pretty obvious he was grifting. So it says, Pismo says, BLM is one massive fraud. It's been 7 years since BLM was formed. They have raised over $1 billion. They haven't had one neighborhood cleanup, sent one poor black child to college, bought any school supplies, fed the hungry, donated to a food bank, or provided housing to one poor black family. No, it's true. They haven't. BLM was fraudulent and a gigantic money laundering scheme, Mark says. It wasn't ever about black lives. No, it wasn't. It's a lofty ideology and lofty sloganeering, all in the name of stealing. So the world's sexiest albino, quote unquote, went on a personal spending spree Instead of buying laser pointers, riot gear, firecrackers, gasoline, and other weapons as instructed. Oh, that's true too. Because I think you did one of three things. You went on a spending spree and bought yourself a bunch of crap and then some vacations to the Caribbean and the house. The other grift part of BLM was that you were provided through an NGO that was funded through the DNC. You were provided, say, like Southern Poverty Law Center, people like that, who would funnel money to these groups to buy weapons, riot gear, firecrackers, Molotov cocktails, stuff like that, to cause mass chaos. And the other was, of course, the four people that I had mentioned, including Patrice Couleurs, who bought mansions and benefited themselves. So Paul Zapula says no one should be surprised by any of this. BLM has always been a huge scam. The founders embezzled millions that they then used to buy mansions. So it should come as no surprise that more people use the organization to rob donors blind. It's disgusting in so many ways. Yes, and there's a couple of audits going on, and one of the big audits, and it's they've gotten charges, are the BLM, the head of the BLM in Boston. And so General says, hopefully Trump will designate BLM and Antifa as domestic terrorists, as they are. Oh, isn't that lovely? And let me guess, it was the white liberal women donating to him. Makes me sick to think about how much fraud was down under the guise of BLM. Yes, it is true, white liberal women. I just don't know what the deal is. But they have manipulated your compassion, which is sloganeering. And that's why I always say, folks, here's something to think about. Try looking at what are the fruits of their actions in the end. That's what you should go off of, not sloganeering. Okay, I can hear sloganeering and cheerleading all day long, but unless you do a little bit of research into it and what they're really doing and the fruits of their actions, then you're just going to fall for words the whole time, which obviously white liberal women who've tapped into the white liberal guilt thing, whatever, have been donating to these fraudulent organizations. Bribery, lies, and money laundering. That's what BLM stands for. I want to know which people in the BLM organization didn't defraud the organization for their own benefit. Looks like every single one of them had their hands in the pot. Well, they did. So, let's see. Oh, here's something. Same, world's sexiest albino. So here he is again, and I guess he was going to jail for something else. Impersonation charges, which are a slap on the wrist. But reading this, it's obvious he was looking for someone to, starts with an R and ends in ape. It's sexual assault, but worse, pretty bad. Yeah, that's him. That's the world's sexiest albino. Gosh, man, lucky dog. Not so lucky anymore. Going straight to the pokey, as we call it. Vocal police protester busted repeatedly on fake cop charges. Let's see here. I don't know what this crap is. Okay. BLM was just a front for money laundering and fraud. This is one of my people who have committed crimes through the organization. So let's see what this is here.
Everything looks worse than it was.
Okay, so this is a clip from the Black Lives Matter documentary that Candace Owens made, which basically uncovered the whole thing. And this came out in 2022, I think so. And so here's the trailer from it, and it kind of says everything here about the after effects. After everything's died down, what was the end result of BLM? Here it is.
Black Lives Matter released their 990 IRS filing. They collected $80 million. Where is that money?
It's not here. Everything looks worse than it was.
Where have you seen that money impacted throughout the city? So my producer just sent me a link. It is just shocking to me because of how much money was raised to think that where he lived, the bills weren't being covered. Super frustrating, but that's it. So, and here's where it gets really interesting. Ready for some BLM pride? Another $200K went to escorts, BDSM workers, strippers, peep show workers, phone sex operators, and webcam performers. And then at that moment, it became personal. And I thought, not only am I going to say the truth, I am going to scream the truth louder than you can scream the lies.
Yeah, that's a good logo right there. You know that fist that they have, the fist that is full of money. Yeah, that's a better logo. That describes it more accurately. Um, this somebody says this kind of interesting, and it's a sad state of affairs. This isn't even news anymore. It's expected. It's the new norm. BLM enriching themselves off the very people they swear to help. That does seem to be the norm now, doesn't it? And it's almost like it's encouraged in certain circles to go out there and just sloganeer and off victims, true victims, okay, not the victimhood thing that's being pushed for money, and then exploit them. It's being encouraged, and then just walk away from it all. So this is what Kamala Harris wanted folks to donate to, of course. So literal bunch of frauds and started a terrorist organization. Well, yes. Corporate America gave millions to Marxist BLM. Yeah, so you get the point. Yeah, so anyway, I just thought that was kind of interesting that just to know, since this is so right on the your priority list, world's sexiest albino has finally been charged. Tyree Conyers page. So anyway, leave a like on the video if you like it and subscribe. I'd surely appreciate that. And I will talk to you later, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.